we are good to go. So thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. I know it's hard to sneak away in the evenings sometimes. So tonight we're talking about back to school essentials. And I hope you'll learn a few things or two that you can start applying in your own homes. And give you a little bit, most of you know me, I'm Gina Rideout. I'm a certified health coach and doTERRA wellness advocate. So I've been partnering with doTERRA for 3 years now. And honestly, it's the best thing I've ever done, no looking back. And I always look back and wonder, what did I do before essential oils? I don't know what I did. So welcome and thanks for joining me. So please use this opportunity to get comfortable with essential oils, as my hope and desire, if you haven't started yet, is that today will be the beginning of your stress-free journey. And I always had to put in the disclaimer, so doTERRA does not prevent, treat, or cure any disease. And this information is not at all or in any way intended to be a substitute for medical counseling. And the suggested uses apply only to the use of doTERRA essential oils. So as you may know, there's a lot of cheap synthetic imitations out there. So you have to be careful and just make sure you're using a pure essential oil like doTERRA. So as we go through, I'd like for you to think about what your goal is. So I'll be sharing lots of information on how doTERRA can help your children thrive in the classroom, as well as so much more. And I always love sharing how doTERRA products can be used during the seasons, different seasons, and there's so many ways to incorporate these into your life. So I'd like for you to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how you would rate your child's health currently, and why you're giving this rating. And I guess there's a reason why you're all here, besides an interest in essential oils, but you want to apply them to your kids as well. So, for me, I don't want my kids sick from September to June. So essential oils can certainly help us out with that. So I want you to think about that as we go along. So I just want to give a little bit of background for those of you who are fairly new to doTERRA. So why doTERRA? There's lots of essential oil companies I could have partnered with as a health coach, but I chose doTERRA, and there's lots of reasons why, but one of the main reasons is because of their co-impact sourcing model. So doTERRA sources its oils from all over the world so that each oil is derived from its indigenous environment. And when their oils are grown, when the plants are grown and harvested in the proper altitude, climate, seasons, and soil, you end up with a far superior product. So this is where the potency of the plant comes from. And it's where doTERRA's commitment to purity begins. So the other reason is that doTERRA oils are certified pure therapeutic grade. And this is really important because it's doTERRA's commitment to making sure every single oil has zero fillers, synthetics, dyes, pesticides, or contaminants of any kind. And they are just pure, unadulterated oils grown by experienced farmers on their own indigenous lands. And doTERRA created this standard as a promise of purity, and each and every batch is third-party, independently tested, which is, again, so important when you're using an oil. So you can be confident not just in their purity, but their potency as well. So Source to You, some of you may have heard to doTERRA's Source to You website. This is where you can go to this link, and if you want to see for yourself, doTERRA is completely transparent, which is another thing I love about the company. So if you look on the bottle of your single oils, like a frankincense, you'll see a lot number on the bottom, and you can enter that lot number into this website, source2you.com, and you can see the third-party independent testing results yourself. And that's your commitment to knowing that the oil is pure. And in this site as well, you can get so much information on their co-impact sourcing model. So doTERRA is committed to making a positive difference in the lives of farmers, harvesters, and distillers who contribute to doTERRA's oil production. And so doTERRA will not ever own farms for the purpose of essential oil farming. For the reason I mentioned, the purity comes from indigenous sourcing and plant growing where it's supposed to be grown. But also part of that co-impact sourcing is doTERRA partnering with these harvesters, growers, distillers, farmers, and making them better, working with them to help improve their sustainability practices so that they'll have these farms in their families for generations to come. So much information you can get from this website. It's absolutely, I highly recommend you take a look at it. So again, for those of you fairly new to oils, there's several different ways, 3 ways to use essential oils. Topically, which is very easy. So when you apply oils to areas of the body that need support, they reach the bloodstream within 20 seconds, and then they're distributed throughout the body within 20 minutes. So pretty amazing. So it's best to dilute the oils in fractionated coconut oil to avoid skin sensitivity, and always, always, always dilute for children. And I usually just tell everybody to dilute. It helps absorb into the skin. You don't, oils are volatile, so they're not evaporating into the air, and it just helps avoid any sensitivity. The bottoms of the feet are a great place to apply oils, as the skin is less sensitive, it's quickly absorbed on that area, but also you can apply to areas that need support. So say if it's a bad belly, you can dilute and apply the oils to the belly. You can rub on the back of your neck, or if it's head tension, you can rub on your temples. So another way to use the oils is aromatically. So put a drop in the palm of your hands and cup your hands up to your nose and do some nice deep breathing, some nice deep inhales. And it can certainly help with many things, whether it's anxious symptoms or just to calm yourself down, just to breathe or sleep. You can also just smell them straight from the bottle, and also diffusing. If you have a diffuser at home, it's a great way to get the benefits from the oils, and they can support respiratory functions, they can enhance your mood. And a third way is internally, and again, only with doTERRA would I trust using any oil internally. And so don't assume that it's okay to just use any brand, because purity of essential oils varies greatly. And I actually like to mention a 4th way to use essential oils is for environmental use. So I've eliminated all chemical cleaners in my home, and I just use back to basics. Vinegar, baking soda, essential oils, and water is really what it comes down to for me. Oh, I should back up. When you use essential oils, some people would ask, why would you use essential oils internally? Things like citrus oils are super high in antioxidants. So you can add a drop to your water and consume, so you're getting an antioxidant boost. The nutritional value is removed from the essential oils, but they still maintain that high antioxidant value. And I've also just read a study recently that consuming citrus oils internally increases the production of glutathione in the body. And glutathione is so important. It's one of the body's natural detoxifiers, basically. So any ways that we can help increase production of glutathione in the body is certainly welcome. So getting into how you would use oils for kids. So first of all, there's oils in the classroom. So I can begin the discussion, I guess, with a few articles. Several articles have been published by doTERRA, which highlight how classrooms are currently using essential oils to create a healthy and productive environment. So whether it's at public school or homeschooling, essential oils can have numerous benefits for kids as well as for teachers. So just to tell a little story, there's a lady by the name of Jessa Johnson, who is a doTERRA wellness advocate, mother of 2 boys, and her boys attend school in Colorado. And in 2014, the school got on board and put a diffuser in every classroom, and they all had access to a clean hands spray, so a natural hand sanitizer. And after noticing positive results, a majority of the classrooms are still using essential oils daily. So one of the main differences that they noticed is reduced number of absences for students and teachers. So for that year, they kind of did it as an experiment. For that year, out of 19 teachers, less than 14 leave days were used during the 2015-16 school year, and which was less than half the days used in prior years. So that's a significant improvement. So there's definitely a need. And I know in our public school system, it's this process, I guess, to get teachers on board, but we have to start somewhere. So yeah, we'll certainly start with the research, right? Um, DIY hand cleansing gel. So if you're on my Facebook group, Gina Rideout Essential Oils, I actually did a video just the other day on how do do a really, really simple DIY hand sanitizer that was just water, witch hazel, and On Guard Protective Blend. And down further in my feed, you'll see a recipe for this hand sanitizing gel, which you can also get on doTERRA blog. So if you just Google doTERRA blog and sanitizing gel, you'll find it. And I can also send it. What I'll do is for everyone who's registered, I'll send a follow-up email with the recording, as well as another few tidbits of information like that study if you'd like to read up on it, and the recipe for the hand cleansing gel. So all it is really is aloe vera, water, vitamin E, and the On Guard Protective Blend and a small squeeze container. So just make sure that you're using a high quality plastic container. It's not as big an issue when the essential oils are highly diluted, but glass is always better, especially if you're using a spray. It's easier to use glass. So I can send you information on that. The other thing is the On Guard Protective Blend has actually been proven to kill the flu virus, which is pretty amazing. When we go next week, I'm actually going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah for doTERRA's annual convention. Last year when I was there, we spent many hours discussing the On Guard Protective Blend and all of the research that's ongoing around this blend, like the study I mentioned that it does actually kill the flu virus. They actually did a little experiment, one of several, and they created an environment, so a warm, moist environment. They infected a surface with lots of bacteria so that, lots of yucky stuff would grow there. And they made a spray with On Guard Protective Blend. They only used 3 drops in, I think, half a liter of water. And they sprayed it and just let it sit. And they just let it sit in that environment to see if the bacteria would grow. And nothing grew. And they actually went back in and recontaminated the surface with the bacteria and let it sit in the warm, moist environment that's very favorable to bacteria, and still nothing grew. So it's pretty amazing. So I swear by this blend. Right up there, it's definitely my top 3, one of that I would never leave home without. Energize your morning. So if anyone has kids that have trouble getting up out of bed in the morning, there's all kinds of different recommendations for oils that you can use. And you can either turn on the diffuser. So my girls each have a diffuser in their bedroom. And you can just set their diffuser, or sometimes I'll come down in the kitchen in the morning and I'll put some wild orange and peppermint, which is a really lovely wake-up blend, and put that in the diffuser as we're getting breakfast. And it just creates a little bit of happiness in the air. It makes everyone a little bit happier to be there and getting ready to go to school. But any of these oils, Elevation, Citrus Bliss, are fantastic. Another one that's great if you have maybe an older teenager that will not get out of bed, get some black pepper and dilute it in coconut oil and rub it on their feet, and that'll definitely wake them up. But wild orange and peppermint, probably my favorite go-to for putting in the diffuser for mornings. Certainly sets the atmosphere for the day for sure. So your child's foundation of health. So I always try and educate parents about the importance of healthy choices and habits for their children. And this is why I highly, highly, highly recommend a daily supplement regimen that's specifically designed for kids and youth. These ones, the A to Z chewable tablets and the IQ Mega, are specifically designed for children to give them all the whole food derived nutrients they need, as well as the omega-3s that are vital to brain growth and health. So we get way too many omega-6s in today's diet with all the processed foods that we eat and the high stress. So we need extra omega-3s to balance that, and it's certainly fantastic, like I mentioned, for brain development for kids. And the A to Z Chewable is a proprietary formula of ingredients. It's a whole food supplement, especially for kids who might have difficulty swallowing a capsule, and they can just chew these. The IQ Mega takes the fishy taste out of oil because it uses wild orange. It's flavored with the wild orange essential oil. Um, and my girls have moved on from this. They used to take these, and now they take the daily nutrient pack. But I used to put the IQ Mega in their smoothie in the morning and just get them to chug it down, and they wouldn't even notice it. So make sure, it's really great to have a supplement that's not full of junk and fillers and sugar like a lot of mainstream vitamins are today. This is a whole food supplement with no nasty ingredients in it. And just like adults, kids need a supplement. So we have a routine in my kitchen. We have a supplement station because, well, I take a lot of supplements, and so do my kids. It is critical for the environment that we live in today, with, like I said, increased stress, processed foods. Even the nutritional content of our foods today are not what our grandparents ate. So even if we are eating all the right things, and most people say to me, like, no, I eat healthy, it's not enough. It's not enough anymore. Our foods are really depleted from what they used to be 50 years ago. So supplements are absolutely necessary for kids and adults. Supporting immune health. So being proactive with health has to be a family activity. So you could actually make a nice 10 ml roller bottle immunity blend with these oils, and just roll it down their spine, back of their neck, on the bottoms of their feet, morning and night. And when my girls were younger, they knew to keep their feet out of their blankets when they went to bed, because they knew I was coming around with the roller ball to roll on the bottom of their feet. So if you want to get in the habit now, especially September, right? It is that time of year. All these germs are going around. It's change of the season, and get them in that habit. Rollerball morning and night with either this immunity blend using, you could use like 3 drops of each: frankincense, tea tree, lemon, and On Guard, morning and night, or even just the On Guard on its own is fantastic. And I'd like to see, actually, if your child is usually sick this time of year, if you can start this regimen and see if you notice any difference. See if you can get them through to Christmas without any sickness. So the supplements here, we already talked about the chewable tablets. What you see in the background there is PB Assist. So PB Assist is our doTERRA's probiotic, and it's a really fantastic probiotic for the adult version, but this is the kids version. It's PB Assist Junior, and it's actually in a packet in a proprietary formula of ingredients, and your kids will not forget to take this. The supplements, maybe I have to remind my kids, but they won't forget to take the PB Assist because it tastes like a pixie stick, like the ones we used to eat growing up. So the PB Assist Junior, it's a powdered probiotic supplement. Again, for anyone who has issues swallowing pills, I know a lot of adults who use the PB Assist Junior instead. It's like a little treat every day. And it does have 5 billion live cells of a unique blend of 6 different probiotic strains, specifically selected for benefits among children. So I highly recommend adding this to your regimen because gut health is absolutely critical for immunity as well. When you improve gut health, you not only improve immunity, you improve a lot of other things as well. It can be supportive for mental health and emotions as well. So combating overstimulation. Our children are overstimulated today. They have so many activities and distractions and cell phones. And so there's a few things obviously you can do to help kids with focus, like eating breakfast. So make sure they're satiated for school so they can learn. Make sure they're all packed the night before. Make sure they have time for play and physical activities. Being social, and I don't mean social media, actually social, and also using specific essential oils. So these are great oils to support your children with staying focused. So things like peppermint, rosemary. Rosemary is actually great for memory. So if anyone is studying, either memorizing French verbs or studying for an exam, rosemary is fantastic to diffuse for that. Lemongrass, vetiver, clary sage. So you can try any of these blends. And I should add, what works for one person might not be the oil that works for another. So, for example, vetiver for me, it makes me tired. If I diffuse that with frankincense and lavender in the evening, it puts me out cold, basically. Whereas for some people or kids who tend to be more on the hyper side, vetiver is actually very calming, enough to help them focus. So it depends on what you're looking for, and definitely reach out to your enroller or myself if you're looking for options. And doTERRA also has a blend that comes in a roller called In Tune, and that is actually our focus blend, which is also fantastic. Another blend that I like myself for focus is Passion. So definitely, if one doesn't work, try another, because there's lots of oils, they actually have the same chemical properties, but people react differently to them. So you might have to play around a little bit to find what works for you. And you can put these on pulse points, bottoms of the feet, on the back of the neck, or diffuse them. So you can also, maybe your kid might need some brownie points with the teacher. So you can imagine being in front of 20 plus children every day, having to manage the personalities, learning skills, curriculum, parents, all of these things. So it's a tough job. So doTERRA's Serenity Restful Blend is a great gift for your child's teacher. So, or if you're a teacher yourself, in situations where they feel like, they're a little bit overstressed, and when they go home, they just want to relax. Serenity is a fantastic blend to put in the bath, diffuse in the bedroom before bedtime, or even if they know they have a stressful day, they can apply it to their feet before school. So it's definitely a nice one that teachers might like to have in their arsenal. So of course, kids need to sleep, and we need to help them with that. So again, many children are overstimulated, and it should be our goal to ensure that our child is not overtired, or of course it'll impact their ability to perform in the classroom. So they should have a bedtime routine, 8 to 10 hours sleep. They should have the opportunity to move and exercise in the day. Outdoors is even better, and of course proper nutrition. I am a health coach, so definitely limiting sugar and getting rid of processed foods will help with sleep, and it will help with focus and immunity as well. It'll help with everything. But some fabulous oils to support children when it comes to bedtime are marjoram, serenity. Serenity is probably my go-to, or balance, vetiver, and lavender. Vetiver and lavender together are lovely. Lavender and cedarwood are nice ones to diffuse for bedtime. So go with what your child gravitates to as well. So sleep is definitely important, and there's lots of options that we listed here that can help with that. Feelings of nervousness. So anxious feelings, such a huge, huge issue for kids today. And cedarwood is fantastic to help these keep these feelings under control. Cedarwood is a really lovely calming oil, and it's also great if your child is agitated or upset. It's a wonderful oil to have in your home if you have a child who's prone to drama or tantrums. And it's also great this is great for boys, if they feel like lavender is a bit of a girly smell. Cedarwood, my girls tell me it actually smells like dirt. So if somebody doesn't like some of the frilly smells, cedarwood might be a nice option. It's a popular essential oil we use in lotions. It's diffused in spas, and can certainly help relax and soothe the body when applied topically. So you can rub it behind the child's ears before, during, or after school activities to promote feelings of relaxation. So seasonal change blends. This is where we are now, right? September, it's warm one day, freezing the next. And then that's when we often get sick and run down, right? So I regularly get asked for ways to help children when seasons are changing, leaving their immune systems compromised. And my answer is always to have oils diffusing in the home due to the many benefits of diffusing. And to help with seasonal support, so my daughter actually has seasonal issues throughout the summer as well. And a drop of each of these oils, she would take it internally, a drop of peppermint, a drop of lavender, and a drop of lemon. And it actually comes in a product we have called Try Ease. So if anyone has any of those seasonal allergies, Try Ease is fantastic. Or you can diffuse these as well, a couple drops of each, and it'll help with those seasonal changes if your child suffers from that. Lavender is actually a natural antihistamine, so it's great for seasonal issues. And oh, if we could wish to never see this comb ever. But this is the time of year also when lice are being shared from child to child in the classroom. So you want to have tea tree and clove on hand. Both are proven to repel lice. And my kids, for their routine when they were younger and waiting in my front porch, we have different schedules now, but now that they're a bit older, but we would wait in the porch for the bus, and I would have a spray bottle with clove and tea tree in it, and I would spray their braids or ponytail, whatever they had that day. I would spray their hat, their scarf, their coat, their shirt, their backpack, pretty much everything. They were sprayed down with tea tree and clove, and that was successful for us. So if you want to avoid that, I would definitely have this in your arsenal. Lots of craft things you can do as well with essential oils and kids. So pictured here is a orange creamsicle lip balm, and I can send you this, or you can find it again, doTERRA blog. Just Google orange creamsicle lip balms, and it'll take you right to it. And they make great gifts. You know, if you want to, if your kids want to give their friends little things for Christmas, you can make a ton of these for very little in cost, and they love them and flavor them with wild orange. So really easy to do. And you know, I'm not a crafty person. I'm not into DIYs, but I do when it comes to this, and I do run my own home just because it's so easy. You know, if you saw that video where I did the DIY hand sanitizer, it literally took me seconds. So it's just too easy not to, and they're so cost effective and they work so well. So you can't not. So if you go to DIY or doTERRA blog, you'll see lots of different options of things to do like this. Vibrant teacher blend. So another gift that your child can give to their teacher. So 1 drop of each of these oils, actually a couple drops of each of these oils in a 10 ml roller bottle, and just fill it with fractionated coconut oil, is something that she can use throughout the day as a little pick-me-up when he or she needs it. Men can use it too. Would be a wonderful vibrant teacher blend, a little pick-me-up for her or him. And again, there's so many different back-to-school diffuser recipes, and I'm going to share these with you in a follow-up email. So different diffuser blends to help with homework, to help with focus, help with sleep. So anything that helps them sit down, and kids love it. You know, this is not something you have to fight with them to do, like eating their vegetables and things like that. Kids absolutely love essential oils. They gravitate to them. They'll choose the ones that they like the most, and they'll want to take them to school. They want to diffuse them at night. When we first got our kit, we had 1 diffuser, and my girls were fighting over it. So we now have one in, well, just about every room in my home at this point, which is fantastic because we just love it and kids love it. So backpack makeover. So if you're looking to integrate doTERRA in all areas of your child's school experience, so a few ideas is, well, we've talked about the supplements. So you're going to want to start their morning with a strong nutritional foundation, which would be the chewable tablets and the IQ Mega. Other things you can do, say for snack, is a tangerine fruit dip. So it's a healthy snack that your children would love. So you just use cream cheese, a little bit of yogurt, honey, and then flavor it with wild orange or tangerine. and you mix it in a little bowl that they can take to school, and they will not come home with it warm and not eaten, which we all know firsthand, right? How frustrating that is, because that would be delicious. So they can have their own hand cleansing gel in there. Maybe they made it themselves, or you can also, doTERRA has a sanitizing mist as well that you can purchase. They might have their own focus blend in their pencil case. One thing I see a lot, because a lot of people come to me for children with focus issues and with anxious symptoms, and I'll often recommend a roller that's suited to them, that they can put in their own pencil case, and it's just personal to them. So it's not like it's diffusing in the classroom. They can just use it as they need it to help with anxious symptoms or to help with focus throughout the day. And you can even talk to your teacher about that and just say, look, this really helps her. And usually they're okay with it. I haven't heard otherwise. You can get little personal diffusers as well. They don't diffuse. They're like, I forget what you call them. That I remember when we were younger, we had these Vicks things that you smell, that you sniff. You can actually buy those on Amazon and just pour your favorite oil in there, and then nobody else can smell it. They just smell it on their own. So really helpful things like that that can help your child get through the day. A little reminder for parents. So I always remind parents that essential oils are not new. They're not novel. They've been in existence for thousands of years and have been health supporting agents for our ancestors. Essential, I mean, if you think back, baby Jesus was given gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Those were medicinal gifts and incredibly valuable in those times. And they're still medicinal gifts today. And they contain constituents that will be recognized by our body systems and handled appropriately. Unlike, synthetic chemicals, lab-made stuff, that can often cause side effects, and the side effects are because our body just doesn't recognize as pure and doesn't know what to do with it. So rest assured that if you are using essential oils on your children, you're not reinventing the wheel. So as long as they're used safely. So one thing you should always consider is that children's skin is not the same as adult skin. So it's thinner, it's more sensitive. And although most doTERRA oils are non-irritating to the skin, it is a good idea, like I said, to always dilute them in a good carrier oil before applying to children and adults as well. So as long as they're used safely and in the right amounts, there's no issue. So now what? So if you want to bring oils into your home and start using them to help support immunity, help support the health of your family, there's a few ways you can purchase doTERRA oils. So one being retail price. Nobody really uses that. It's the most expensive and not really recommended. Or you can get a membership with doTERRA. So for $42, you have a membership which gives you 25% off everything that doTERRA sells. So it's kind of like Costco. You pay your membership fee and you can come and go as you please. So there are no minimum order things. There's no commitments whatsoever with doTERRA. You just come and go as you please. Or you can purchase an enrollment kit. So this is a bigger investment upfront, but you're paying less than wholesale price for each of those oils, and they do last forever. So when you have a pure oil, a little goes a long way. I always tell people, respect the oils. They are natural, yes, but they are also very powerful. You only need tiny amounts for positive effects. So, and I will send this out in the summary follow-up that I send you as well. So it's very easy, and it comes, doTERRA is a direct-to-consumer company, so everything is shipped directly to your door when you need it. So that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope there are a few takeaways in here that you can try out in your own family. And certainly any questions, reach out to the person who sent you to this webinar or myself if that was me, and we can touch base, answer questions, and help you get started. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording and answer any questions, and I'm also going to do a few little draws for some little prizes. So bear with me.